All right, back. back like back like
Hollywood.
we back like we never left this time around. Okay, I
Bad
think
like we never
we're
left.
good now.
All
All
right, we
right,
up.
we
We up.
good?
We
Okay.
up on IG and we up on YouTube, baby.
Okay, good to go. Well, since we're late, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, happy Tuesday, everyone. Officially, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Tip for Tap podcast. I'm Carolyn. I'm one of your hosts.
I'm Jay Moore. I'm the tip for tap, and she's the tip for tap podcast. And we're gonna go tip for tap with some new friends we got in this week, Jay and Sean. Tip for tap nation, what up?
That
Hey,
Tuesday.
Jay and Sean. So happy
Hey.
to have you guys. Man, before we get started into tonight's topic, I know we're a little bit behind, but I have to give a shout out to the Leos because it's Leo season. Are you
Oh God.
Leo? Are
Yo,
you
I ain't
Leo?
gonna hold you. I know
August 5th,
mad
baby.
Leo.
August 5th. That's it.
Yo, mad Leo stuff. What the
Go.
fuck?
Okay.
Yep.
I love this. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I knew I was feeling some good energy from
There
you.
we go. There we
Really
go.
good. So mine is Saturday. So happy early birthday. Remember last year, Jay, we did an episode on my actual birthday?
I know it was. We did it at the pool, right?
No, not that one. That was the pool party, but the one when I was in Dallas
Oh yeah.
and I had my sunglasses on. Last year, when we
And
were
you were
doing
lit. That's just
okay,
wrong.
quick funny story before we get started. Last year, we were doing the show on Thursdays.
Uh-huh.
And so my birthday fell on a Thursday. So I had started drinking literally at like 1 p.m. And so by the time it got time for this show, I was lit. I was so lit, I put sunglasses on because I didn't want to look lit on the show. And I couldn't see, which was so ridiculous.
Yo, that shit was funny.
I was like trying to see through my sunglasses that I didn't want. It was ridiculous. It was so funny.
That shit was hilarious.
The topic was about flying out etiquette. That was a really good. If y'all haven't seen that, if y'all want a good laugh, watch that show.
Watch that one.
Yeah, that one's hilarious. Yeah, we're talking about flying out etiquette, and it was just check that one out. Watch that one.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, tonight's topic: hiding behind our fears. So, kind of a serious topic, but I think one that's extremely important when we talk about trying to bring people together, like what this show is about. We're about Black love. We're about bridging that gap and moving the culture forward with strong, Black families. So it's all love here. However, I think the fear often gets in the way of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm excited to get into tonight's topic. I'm thinking that it will be extremely impactful. So without further ado, before we get into the topic, we got a new guest. And she's a Leo gang.
Right.
So y'all know she's bringing all the energy, okay? Like only a Leo could.
That's right.
Anyway,
That's right.
I'm going to give her the floor now. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, everyone. I am Sean Nance. Don't know if I want to tell my age. So I'm 38 years old plus 10.
Girl, you lying? Oh my
No.
God.
Oh,
What?
baby, I'm not lying. Oh, no, I'm not lying.
I don't see how. Now, did y'all hear that? Ladies and gentlemen, 38 plus 10, that's 48.
38
the nerve to
years old.
say
That's
you wanna tell her age.
wild. Looking.
But in the streets, I'm going to be 38.
Okay. No, in the streets, you look 30. So
There we go. I'll take
that.
it. I'll take all of it. I'll take all of it.
Okay. Sorry. I just, Black women are awesome.
No, that's fine. So a little bit about myself. I am a serial entrepreneur. I've been in, my first company was in business or still is in business, and for 20 years, I've been moved to the board on that company. And now I've started another company. So I am a bit bossy by nature, just a
I
little
love it.
bit. But I'm excited to be here, guys. And thank you for having me on. So any other questions so far? Did I miss some stuff?
I think you're good. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. So we got the Leo energy on tonight. I think we got a great topic. So let's talk about it. I mean, let's get into it. What's up with these fears we got? Like, let's Are we going to tackle a specific fear and kind of
breaking
First of
up.
all, what'd you say?
No, I couldn't hear what she was saying. She was breaking up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
What is the number one, if we had to say the biggest fear of getting relationship, what is the biggest fear that folks have?
Commitment.
Huh?
Commitment.
Mm.
I think that's a big one.
Because people, I mean, we ain't got a problem with meeting each other. Hey, how you doing? I'm so and so, and you so and so, and okay, let's do this, that, and the third, and do that for a while. But in terms of taking it to another level where it's just being you and you getting all my free time, energy, and attention, and I'm getting all of your free, time, energy, and attention. That's when it comes to that, making that leap. It seems to be, that seems to be where the canyon exists. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that's more of a fear with men or women?
No, I think I would just say it happens on both sides. I would say that men probably get to the point where they're ready for a commitment later on in their lives, versus a woman in her mind might want to do it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But I think both men and women go through that where, for whatever reasons, they're just not trying to go all the way there with it.
Okay.
Oh, before you go on, Jay, introduce yourself. Some folks don't know who you are, Jay.
Oh, well, I'm just a guy out here in Virginia. That's I know. Jay Mitch, not Jay Moore. Jay Moore is the guy with the glasses. I'm Jay Mitch without him. From Queens, out here in VA. VA is for lovers. Y'all know what it is.
So commitment, right? The interesting part about that is that we're afraid to commit, but we want to be in a relationship. I think
I get that.
so. Why the hypocrisy? Why the conundrum?
That's a good question.
Right.
I mean, okay, so if you want to be in a relationship, why do you have a fear of commitment?
Right.
So is it commitment, like actually like being, I guess, committed to someone compared to the things that you're giving up? Is it a fear of loss in some way?
It could be that. I've got two big reasons. I think that we want to be in a relationship, but we're afraid of commitment. I think besides that one, I got rejection.
Mm-hmm. Rejection
And this is mostly from the fear of growing old alone.
You think that's why people get in a relationship, or why they do commit?
I think that's why. I think that hypocrisy exists because of those fears, right? So if I talk about people fearing rejection, there's so many levels to that, right? Like, I don't want to get into something that somebody finds out my deepest, darkest secrets, and then they turn me away, and it's too late. I'm already in love. Or they find out that I'm financially unstable, or all the things that we're already fearful or kind of conscious about ourselves, whatever it is, right? We may have ugly feet.
Right.
You may, like, it could be anything. You see it, like, it could be anything. And we want to be in a relationship, but we're afraid that person's going to find out. We're afraid to take off our cape and let people in to find out who we are. And because we are afraid that person might reject the real you.
I think rejection is a big thing. Heartbreak. If you had a heartbreak, you are scared to suffer another heartbreak. I think depending on some of the things that people go through, It will cause you to doubt yourself and doubt your ability to be able to select correctly if you have had an unfortunate situation. And that's a major fear. I'm on a whole journey right now where I'm like, I am not committing to nobody or nothing to the fullest extent until I am through my journey, because I think it is important to be healed from one situation before you take anything else into another situation.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. And I think that that cycle continues longer than it should have because we don't do that.
Mhm.
Like, it's like, how many times you got to do that, ma'am, for you to realize I need to heal first. I need to chill for a moment. You
Right.
know, I need to get myself together. But I think what we do is I think a lot of people are scared of being alone. You know, they don't like being alone. They are subconscious, or maybe not subconscious, of what people are saying about single people, and a lot of those things not being negative. I mean, not being positive.
Mhm.
And so I think there is pressure on a lot of people to have someone in the picture, whether
Yeah,
they
that's a
need to
real
or
fear.
not.
I mean, I have that fear as well. Like I've been on this journey for a minute and I'm not over it. And part of me is like, oh Lord, when I get through it, is my ass gonna be too old? But I think it's important, if you are going to give yourself to someone in its totality, that you cannot do that if you are still trying to recover from things that have happened before. You'll get a partial me. You won't get a full me. You'll get the fearful me.
How are we? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, because we all have a lot of fears, how are we ever going to how can we all get to a place where we're ready for that?
Well, so
Because,
can I piggyback off that question right quick?
sure, yeah, of course.
Sean mentioned about not trusting yourself. I've heard a number of women get to a place where they don't trust themselves in their decision making, right? To go to back off, when do you get to a point where you trust yourself again? It's like, how do you know that you're now able to trust yourself again? You gotta how do you trust that you can trust that you can trust? Like, you see what I'm saying?
You know, I mean, you'll know, you'll stand more confident in, no, this is how I feel. I trust what my body is saying to me. I trust what my mind is saying to me, and I know I'm making the right decision. Versus, oh gosh, am I dating a different man and the same man in different skin? Am I, like, all of those things, particularly if you've had somebody betray you, all of those things come into play. They do. And you don't trust yourself. Me, I was married for 16 years. After my marriage, I got in another relationship for 4.5 years. We were engaged, going to get married, all of that stuff. And his son passed away and he lost his fucking mind. And there were all these other things. And as I learned more, I realized that what he was showing himself to be to me, there was a whole nother part of that. And so then you go through, what the fuck did I miss? What did I miss? And I'm not doing that anymore. So in order for me not to do that anymore, I have to make sure that I'm okay, that my eyes are open. I have to understand how I arrived at that point. Because a lot of times we go through life, it's almost like, you know, how somebody will ask you where a store is. And you're like, oh, I don't know how to get there. I just know where it is. I can show you where it is. That's how we go through life a lot of times. But my journey right now is, no, I want to know the fucking street signs. I want to know exactly how I ended up there. So this time when I go down that street, I know what it is I'm going down, and I can make the decision to turn off, left, right, U-turn, whatever the hell. I'm not going to end up in a situation where I'm like, how the fuck did I get here?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Sean coming in hot tonight.
Can we apply the same logic to every man or every woman that comes into our life next? Because everybody's going to be different.
Of course. And that's of course you can apply it, but you have to trust yourself. And if you don't do the work, then what's going to happen is it will be hard to apply that to other people, because you're going to now be bringing baggage, or something's going to look the same and you're going to react differently. You can't, if there's so many people out here, they just as broken as hell trying to get in a whole nother relationship, and then they breaking people they with.
Facts. That's happening a lot.
Absolutely. Don't you get cut, you bleed on me. I don't want your blood. No, get yourself healed. Because that's what I'm doing.
And I think we all should be doing that. But if we're all doing that, how does that impact dating and marriages and, creating families? Because that can take a while. Like you said, like you were saying, you're concerned is you're going to be too old by the time you get to the place that you need to be. And I believe that all of us have a lot of work to do. We don't have
that. I was just saying that.
Oh,
fast fucking person. I know at the end of my journey, I'm gonna be fine.
You are.
I'm not trying to be conceited or anything, but that's part of the healing process. I wouldn't have said that a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I love that.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm very clear on who I am, and I'm very clear on what I bring to the table. And I'm very clear on what my requirements are. And so a year and a half ago, I would have had that doubt. No, I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I just meant in terms of the time. Yes, you're going to be all of the things you said. I get that. And they are all true, but I'll use myself as example because I'm still on my healing journey. So if I am on my healing journey, and I've been on my healing journey for, about a year or so. And I feel like you just gave an example of how now you know things, and you will say things that you wouldn't have said a year and a half ago. And that's how you're growing, because you see how you're reacting to different things and situations that you've kind of dealt with before. But say it takes me 3 more years to get to my place where I'm healed and I'm ready.
I can get you there in a year and a half. Don't hit me up later. I really will tell you some of the things that I did that helped me get over that process.
Okay.
It's personal work, and personal growth is one of the hardest things that you can ever do. It's just hard because it requires you to be honest with yourself about some things that you don't want to be honest with yourself about.
Yep. That's
Real
true.
talk. So I think that people have to figure out what that path is for them, and just keep working on how to get there. And you can have somebody come into your life before you're finished with the journey, as long as they have the buy-in and the understanding, and they are participating with you and understand what the journey is. You don't have to wait necessarily to the end. That's just what I'm choosing to do. But you can have somebody, as long as they understand where you're trying to go, they can actually be along that ride with you and actually support you a little easier.
Go ahead.
No, you, because I cut you off before you let me go, so you go.
So I also see in the chat somebody mentioned failure, right? And it's interesting that we talk about failure. And I think there's levels to it. Failure with your girlfriend and boyfriend, failure with somebody you're dating, and then failure with your marriage, right? I feel as though failure with your marriage hits a little different. And that's not, and it's not a competition. It's not really being a comparison. It's just the failure goes a little further. It's a little bit more escalated, involves a lot more people, a lot more things. It's just a lot more than just boyfriend and girlfriend, because there was just a lot more that comes with being married. That failure, I think, is another fearful place people live. But I don't know if I have I'm not gonna say the answer, but the anecdote to that, right? Other than the trust God and just get back on the horse again and hope you just learn from the first time and do it better the next time. Not right, but better. Any thoughts on that? I know Kelly, you haven't been married yet. Sean, you have. Jay, you're currently married, right? Yeah. And are there any fears with that, with you in your marriage?
I wouldn't say there's a fear, not at this point. I think if anything, those fears pop up in one of two periods, and that's before you make the leap and get down on one knee, because it's the fear of the unknown. Will this work? Even though I think it will work, how much, how much will it be tested? And will it be tested to the point to where it won't work? Or if you're in the middle of it and you're seriously tested, and then it comes up like, I don't have an answer, she doesn't have an answer, we're just out here lost. I wonder if this is going to work. Because there's no solution right now in front of me, failure now seems like a possibility. I think those are the only two times, at least in my life, where that's been the case. And I've just anecdotally spoken to other people, and failure, it either pops up with the fear of failure beforehand, or when they're in the middle of the trial.
Mm. Is it when you're in the middle of a trial? Do we give up because we fear, or why do folks give up?
Why do they give up?
Yeah, why do folks give up, especially in the middle of a trial?
I think there are various reasons for that. There are several reasons that can make you just, toss your hands up.
As it relates to fear.
I think rejection. I think if you think that the person is going to walk away from you, sometimes people will walk away first. Or if it's not trending in the right direction, you just, it could be different reasons. For me, my the breakup of my relationship after my marriage was harder than the breakup of my marriage.
In what way?
Because for me, in my marriage, I understood that we had gone our course, that we had grown apart, that we were, like, my ex-husband and I are best friends. He's one of my favorite people. He's an amazing man. My divorce cost me $140. So we recognized that we had grown apart. So there was no animosity, there was no issue. In the breakup of my relationship after that, it was he lost his son, and his capacity to love me didn't have it. So it was like a light switch cut off. And that was, you walking down, you think everything is fine, you think life is good, and then the next thing you know, your life is turned upside down. And so that was a lot more challenging because in my marriage, we saw it, we tried, we recognized, we did the in-house separation thing for like 3 years. So by the time we got to the point where we were actually going to get divorced, we were hugging each other. Mm-hmm. So I think it depends on how the relationship is going and what the breakup is. I didn't have any fears after my marriage. I had a lot of fears after my relationship, after my marriage.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
What are the fears in dating?
The fears in dating. So first and foremost,
it's not just one for you, by the way. It's for everybody.
Okay, well, let somebody else answer first, because I know I've been talking.
Oh no, you're the guest. Please share. Yeah, you go.
I want you to feel like you was on the spot.
Okay, so for me, fears in dating right now is what I was saying. I'm on a journey. I want to be healed. I want to make sure. Now, I will say that my thought process about relationships, interesting enough, has changed a lot. I don't necessarily buy into all of the social constructs that society has put in place for us. I just don't. And that's another topic, but I just don't. I think that it is more so about connection. It's about who makes you happy. It's about who can respect you enough to respect your boundaries. It's different things at this stage in my life. So the fear comes from picking too soon before I'm really ready. It comes from I don't want to settle. I don't want to settle. But with that being said, but hold on, there's a caveat to that. What is settling? What is settling? Because we have these thought processes that say this is what not settling is. He makes this much money, he's this, he's that, he's the other. But what if he makes you happy and inspires you and motivates you and all these things, but he doesn't meet these criteria that society says he's supposed to meet? So what is settling? And that's actually one of the questions that I've been asking myself. Like, what does that look like?
That's valid. I mean, I understand that 100%. I think I definitely have a fear of settling as well. And I think what that looks like for me is more so not having what it is that I want.
And do you know what it is that you want?
At the moment, no.
That's the first thing that
no, at the moment I do not. I because it changes, you know. It changes. It changes when I think about certain things. It changes when, you know, we have a show and I'm hearing different perspectives. It just can change sometimes. So no, I do not. But I understand what you said though. And another fear in dating for me is somehow losing myself. Like I have such an amazing life right now. I have wonderful friends, wonderful family. I love my job, even though I'm not working right now because I'm still on vacation. But like I have a podcast, like I have a wonderful life. And the thought of compromising that in some way by getting involved with a man is scary. It's scary because I don't want that to happen again.
Why can't you keep all those things and have a man?
Why can't you keep all those things and have a man? Because when you get into a relationship, I think part of what makes me so happy and is at peace is because I can move how I want to move. You know what I'm saying? Like I can do what I want to do. There's no questioning. There's no explaining. There's no, I need to cook dinner. If I don't want to cook dinner, I don't cook dinner. I Uber Eats my dinner. Okay. And I want to be able to do that. Like I don't want to have to alter my life just to be in a relationship with a man. Because on top of that, and even if I did, because I have, but when you do that, you still run the risk of it not working out. So now I've just upended my nice, wonderful, peaceful, happy, loving life to get involved with a man who has
I'm mad at the word peaceful in there, like we bring war. But that's okay.
Oh no, y'all are stressful. Y'all
right, like y'all bring stress. I'm not going to say
yes.
war, but y'all bring stress. Like I have a very peaceful life when I'm not dealing with no man. Period.
Lean in on him, Jay. Lean in on him.
I don't care about you leaning in.
Let me lean on back. Let me lean back.
Okay.
I'm bald with gray hairs before my time.
Whatever.
That's because you done dealt with the wrong women.
Ooh.
Touche.
So the next question is, and sidebar, Mocha Flavor said, have you thought of a man that gives you that space? He just may exist. I'm gonna let you, we're gonna put a pin in that though, because that's another fear, but we're gonna put a pin in that one. I wanna go somewhere to the ladies right quick. I'm about to attack y'all.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Let me square up. Come on.
20s, y'all in y'all 20s, y'all living y'all best life, you in your whole stage, you letting it fly.
I didn't have a whole
Then all of a sudden, you get into your 30s, your mama tell you, baby, when you gonna get you a man and have some kids? Now your clock's ticking. And now you're starting to date or move in a manner where you fear like you're gonna grow old with 35 cats. And you don't want to be that woman. How do y'all work that out? Because men, we don't have that clock. My man Robert De Niro had a 2-year-old at the age of 85.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have that problem. So how do you guys manifest that fear in that space biologically and work through that?
Honestly, that's never really been a fear of mine. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but to Sean's point earlier, I was definitely one of those people just going through life, like not really, thinking about how I got there or what moves I was making, how they would impact me long term. Like, I was doing none of that. And so I was never thinking about whether or not I'm running out of time or my clock is ticking. I was with someone for 7 years before we ever discussed marriage. I mean, it never really was a thought like that. I mean, it was a thought, but not like a serious thought. So I just am somebody who hasn't thought of things like that. Now that I think about things like that, I'm more aware, but it just doesn't, it's not a thing for me. It's not something that I have a fear of. I'm not going to grow old with a bunch of cats. I'm going to grow old, but I'm not going to have a bunch of cats. I will not be the old cat lady. I will be the old lady at a Jeezy reunion concert or something. Okay. Like, if I'm going to be by myself, whether I'm with someone or I'm not, my life is going to be lit until the day I die, period. Like, so therefore I don't feel like old cat lady. That's some society ass shit, but that will never be me.
Okay. How do you deal with? I'm sure you have friends that do though.
Friends that
I'm
do
sure
what?
that have that fear.
Yeah.
I've seen them make bad decisions because of it too. So, I don't know. It's not a good thing to give into. Just if you don't want to be with that person, if it's not right, like, you got to think about that. Because then, like, say you do have a kid with this person. Now you're so focused on, I got to hurry up and have a kid. You done fucked around and had a kid with somebody that is not a good person to have a kid with.
Goddamn serial killer.
Yeah, like they're not, they're not ready to be married. They're not really ready for kids. Like, they didn't really want any of those type of things. And they got with you for some reason, maybe the same thing. They were feeling pressure from their family to be like, you need to settle down, or whatever the case may be. Who knows with men? Could be totally different. But I think a lot of women get put into bad situations that are very difficult to get out of because of that fear. And
agreed.
We probably should fix that, ladies.
So we have all these fears, right? We got fear of being alone. We've got fear of failure. We got fear of FOMO, right? Missing out, giving up our good life. We got fear of rejection. We got, what else do we have? We got, what else? What other fears do we talk about? Fear of not being able to have a family. What else?
Fear of heights.
Fear.
We didn't talk about that.
About that plane. We have all these fears, right? And we're walking around with all these fears. And we meet somebody. How do all these fears manifest itself in how we engage each other?
I think it depends on where you are in your journey and how much you are aware of your fear. There are some people that are walking around with their fears and they have no idea that they are functioning within the constraints of that. And then you have people that recognize that there's personal work to do, and they try to make it aware so that they can make sure that they're not making subconscious decisions that are based off of those fears. I think it depends on where you are in your personal awareness about yourself and where you are in your honesty about yourself and your fears.
What if you don't even know you fear these things? What if it's all subconscious?
Then that's when you bleeding on other people. Mm-hmm. And it'll be identified. A healed person will be able to identify an unhealed person, and they're like, stranger danger. No.
We say that often.
Yeah.
on the show.
Yes, we do.
Talk about that. As we've healed, we've been able to identify unhealed people.
Right.
Like seeing ghosts.
Think about how many people, when you weren't healed, you missed out on because they were able to identify that you weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What is the fear
crazy.
in therapy? What is the fear in therapy?
I ain't got no fear in therapy. I ain't got no fear in therapy. I ain't got no fear in the psychedelic journeys. I ain't got any fear in anything that's going to make my ass okay by any means necessary.
People they fear the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing you want to do is be told that you are not perfect.
And you
even if you know you're not
Negroes
perfect,
on YouTube. Say that.
you do not want to hear that you need to change. That of everything happening in the world can still be what it is and not be altered at all, but you
have to
are
change.
the thing that has to change. People don't want to hear that.
No, that's part of that personal growth. It is hard. And people don't want to hear it.
No.
It's hard to hear, but if you're serious, if you want to be a better person, if you want to get to the place you're trying to get to, then you will hear it.
Hold on,
you'll face
listen
it.
to what you just said. I have a chance to become a better person. Here's what's weird to me, right? We know certain foods are bad, but we eat it anyway. Why?
Because
we know we know we can be better. Like we know we can be better. Why don't we move towards that? What are we afraid of? What do we fear?
Change. Accountability.
Accountability for sure. Yep.
Not the A word. Not the A word.
Don't start. Jay always like to act like women are not accountable for anything.
Oh, women are accountable.
He always implies that, and it always angers me because we do take accountability.
100%.
Why is you over there looking like that?
100% what? Of the time? Y'all take accountability?
Listen, I'm just waiting for lightning to strike. I was
They
just
don't
wondering.
like striking over here.
She looked fine to me.
Both of y'all. Y'all really believe that bullshit?
I take accountability.
Stop.
I believe we may not.
This is what drives me crazy. We'll say women, and you'll be like, I take accountability. You see everybody.
We may not take accountability in the way that you see fit, but then that's a communication issue.
Hold on. Break down the way accountability should be. What are the different ways accountability happens? No, never mind. That's a totally different topic. I don't want to be on.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. So what is the fear that we know we can be better? We know. Hold on. Mocha flavor said 100% is a stretch.
I know. I saw that. I was just about to respond in the chat. Go ahead.
I would say 100% women can take accountability, not women take accountability 100% of the time.
Yes.
All right. Back to the program.
Y'all, why are you so goofy on here?
We can move if we know we can be a better person. You said like we're afraid of the truth. We're afraid of change. Mm-hmm. But if the change takes us to a better place, why don't we want to go to that better place?
Fear. It goes back to the same thing.
Fear of what though? Fear of going to a better place? Fear of what?
I don't think that's how people think about it.
Yeah. It can't be.
I mean, obviously, if it's fear of a better place, of course, I want to go to a better place. But what is the work that I have to do to get there? Mm-hmm. And does that work? Am I at a place where I can accept, number one, that I need the work? Number two, how to do it? A lot of times, I don't think people even know where to start. Mm. And if you don't know, because a lot of times people will feel something not right. I know my ass crazy. I don't know what the hell going on. Like you feel that, but you don't know where to start because sometimes things are just so overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. That's true too.
Well, they doubt that the work is going to work.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or it just seems like such a massive task.
Right.
So do we think that people look at it like if they see it as such a massive task and they just decide it's not worth it? I don't even want to try to do the
They
work.
just go find another broken person and have another jacked up relationship.
You know what?
That's what happens.
Like my
It's the
man
truth.
said,
It's 100% the truth. Yeah,
That's why we
it
got
is.
so many toxic and jacked up relationship, people fighting in the street, all kind of stuff, because nobody has taken the time to do the work.
Mm.
And then the other thing is, if you are in a relationship, right, and you recognize that something's not right, and you want to do the work, understand that if that person isn't doing it with you, you're probably losing that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's also a fear. If you have that, if somebody has children or are married or whatever, and they know that something's not right and they need to do better, a lot of it's like two crackheads. When one gets clean, you can't be around the other one.
Yeah.
You like my analogy?
it home.
It did. So James, I put a lot of pressure on women. What do men fear about relationships? What do we fear about dating? What do we fear about getting married?
Relationships. What do we fear? We fear.
She take my money.
Yeah, we fear that, but I'll say we fear a heightened level of responsibility for somebody other than ourselves.
Mm.
Like what Callan was kind of saying earlier, like when you're a man, you go out in the world, you make your money, come back to what's yours. It's your castle. You do what you want, how you want it, and how you see fit. When you got somebody else, in the picture, now you have to defer, and it's very easy and comfortable, and it's very enjoyable to not have to defer to anybody. Especially going out and dealing with the world. You come home and it's just like, this is the first place I don't want to defer. I want to be the king of my castle.
Mm-hmm.
So, relationships going into it, you look at it like I'm embarking on something that might wind up with someone else in this house that I'm going to have to defer to. Do I really want that? Is it worth it?
Is she worth it? Right.
Well,
I think
is it worth the deference?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I think
And,
is it worth the
and
deference?
and is this person that I'm choosing worth me doing that for?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's important.
Yeah.
I think additionally, especially nowadays, I think the responsibility of having to provide security for another person is gargantuanly scary. Um, and I think it's heightened because there is a financial part that has been kind of hip hopped, for lack of a better term. And what I mean by that is that the culture has stated that a man needs to have such and such amount of money to take care of me. He needs to be able to take care of all my bills. He needs to be able to fly me here, fly me there. He needs to be able to provide and do all the things. And we know what it costs to do whatever. And men are like, listen, it's not even really about not just I won't do it, but what if I can't do it? What if I try and I fail miserably? And this woman can now emasculate me or make me feel less than a man, not make me feel like a king anymore. I'm no longer a king in my castle. I'm listening to the radio the other day, and there was a poll on the DL Hughley show where there was a scenario where a man married a woman, he lost his job, and some bills came, and she was like, "Yo, the bills are here," and he was like, "Yo, can you take care of these, for the month?" And she was like, "Are you paying me back?"
Well, that's the wrong woman.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, though. So
Okay.
two things. Let me throw in a little caveat.
Okay.
according to her, she told him up front before they even got married that my money is my money and your money is our money. He agreed to that.
Oh, well, then he's short.
He played himself. But
I don't think he played himself. I think he agreed to whatever their compromise was within their relationship.
Sure, right? He's met his ultimate, this is an ultimate fear that in desperate times, is my partner going to hold me down? Like, as a man, we need to know that our lady has our back. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the only time you're gonna find out is when it's live. When we playing with live ammo. There's no test run for that. And so this guy, I felt bad for him, sort of. He signed up for it, but I felt bad for him because now I know how he feels. I'm sure he's feeling like, yo, I'm in a house with somebody that now I know I can't trust or has my back. I've reached the ultimate, my fear has come to life.
I think that depends on where everybody is in their stage in their life. What you want when you're 20 is different from what you expect when you're 30, which is different from what you expect in your 40s. I ain't getting with no man with potential. You need to be potented. Like, I'm not doing it. Like that time was when I was younger. Now, with that being said, you also, by this age, can look at the history of that woman and see what her cadence is. I have no problem holding down the person that I'm with. Absolutely. But understand that I always say, you could have $1 million, $3 million today, and you can be in a box tomorrow. But if you are potented, we're going to be able to climb out that box very quickly. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to get with nobody who's still searching, trying to find their way. Hell no. That shit is for my son. And that's just what it is. The other part, at this stage in my life, it's going to be somebody I want, not somebody I need.
Right.
I'm good. We signing prenups. I'm good.
Yeah. So Leo energy.
But yes, there is an expectation, right? That I don't want to, because when you have this and have this, it goes like this. Let's not be fooled. It goes like this, and then y'all do this. So you have to be in a space where you can connect with me mentally and we grow together, where I can learn something from you and you can learn something from me. I am not trying to be the teacher, because here's the thing, and this may not be popular and don't kill me, but if I got to be your teacher, then we're gonna have a whole, don't ask to be the king.
That's facts. But I think a lot of men don't want to hear that.
They don't. They talk about
right. That's that alpha energy.
The right energy stands in his shit and can turn me into a little girl. Mm-hmm. Period.
That's true.
Period. End of discussion. The other side.
Need some water on that one.
We're gonna be comparing. Whose is bigger? And then they're like, oh, she act like she got male energy. No. You just need to rise to the occasion.
Right, but a lot of times they don't. And that's where we find like a guy that will go and, because of that fear of not being able to provide, like Jason was talking about earlier, and dealing with that woman that I guess makes him feel that way, then they would rather go be with a girl that doesn't like challenge them.
All day long.
It's like she's not making you grow in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. But you feel like the king though, but you're not growing. So make that make sense.
And the woman is supposed, like, I am more traditional in my relationship, so I absolutely believe that the man is supposed to be the head of the household.
Oh yeah.
But you have to show me that you can lead me. And that requires safety. That requires a lot of things. I have no problem with being led by a man as long as he's capable of doing it. Because at this stage in my life, it's what I want, not what I need.
Woo. Shots fired. She is out here. If right now, if you was it beta male?
Oh no.
Beta male energy. If you
I
Beta
like
male
the
energy.
silverbacks. I like the silverbacks.
So
You gotta tell me, shut up, girl, shut up. No.
how do you
Shut your mouth.
how do we these fears, right?
Mhm.
Remedy or solutions, or do you just jump off the cliff? Like
What you mean?
how do we work through, because we said it, fears fuck up other people.
They do.
You come in with your fears, you come in not being open, and it manifests itself in so many different ways. You can fuck up another person, right? And not even know it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How do we take a look at, or try to get people to say, you know what, let me look inside and see what I fear, and how do I work that out, right? How do I manifest myself into a person that can overcome that fear and be, or come out on the other side of that? And I mean, we always talk about therapy and things like that, but that could be, Black folks don't believe in therapy, man. I mean, it's getting better
I think
these days,
that's
but
changing.
Black folks don't believe in
Mm-hmm.
therapy.
I think that's changing. I don't
I'm
hold.
not saying it isn't. I'm not saying that I said we're getting better at that,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean there's plenty of people that will not do it. Like, there's plenty. Um, and they're gonna keep going into this cycle because they just don't believe it. They don't believe in telling their issues to a stranger. They
Well, you
don't
gotta
believe in
let them
trusting
go.
a stranger with their issues.
Let them do what they're going to do. You can't make any adult do anything, and you just have to decide if that is something you want to deal with. Listen, most of the time we
Hold on, hold
cannot
on.
help who we fall in love with, so you have to surround yourself by the people that are worthy of your love.
It's not about making somebody do something. It's about, I'm talking about, what can we tell somebody who's sitting there like, yo, I want to be better, but I don't want to go to therapy. What are some other tools and ways that we can help somebody and say, listen, I know I have these fears. I know I
Well,
want to be better, but I don't want to go this route. Is there another way that we can figure out a way that is there another way for me to figure out for myself how to get past my fears so I can effectively get out in these streets and date and be a wholesome person?
yeah, I mean, I think that if you're not comfortable going to therapy, then you should talk to someone that you trust, that you have a great relationship with. Like, because a lot of times when I am in therapy, it feels like, I am just talking to someone that I can trust completely so that I can be completely truthful with myself in this moment. And so if you don't want to do that with a therapist who is a stranger, then do it with your mom, do it with your dad, do it with
Yeah.
your pastor, do it with your sister, like do it with somebody, do it with your best friend. Yeah, my best friend knows like every single dirty, awful, crazy
Mm-hmm.
thing that I have ever done or experienced in my life, like everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love being able to talk to her because I don't have to, I can just be truthful and honest and me, and I don't have to sugarcoat it or exaggerate it or, you know what I'm saying? Like, or leave parts out. like not with her. I still do that with some people, but I don't do that. But like I have someone that I can be completely transparent with. And when you have someone that like that in your life, it really is a blessing.
Yeah.
It really is a blessing because they're going to pour into you and they're going to build you up, and you're going to build your confidence is going to get built up, and then that's going to help you get past your fears. It's going to motivate you to want to keep working, to want to keep trying, and to get past them, eventually overcoming them.
It's still therapy. It's just not in a formal setting.
Yep.
I mean, point blank and period. When you think about people whose lives you've impacted or people that have impacted your life, they don't have to be a paid therapist. They can be somebody who is a friend or is a colleague or is somebody who understands what you're going through and can help guide you in a space that makes you better. It doesn't have to, when we say therapy, I think we automatically go to the typical therapist. I've got some people in my life that are like therapists to me, but they're not. But they make me think, they make me challenge, they make me say, okay, I hear you. I don't know if I think I'm gonna be stubborn in this moment, but I hear you.
Do you guys as men, do you feel like in therapy that it was a safe space that you could be completely exposed? In therapy.
Say that again?
Do you feel like in therapy, the space was safe enough for you to feel like you could be completely like exposed, like you like could say whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know my therapist prior.
Mm.
And so, for whatever reason, I feel like the opposite sex does better as a therapist. Because I think we're able to, I think a man can listen to a woman and see some things differently than she does, and then vice versa, right? I think that's needed. Oftentimes I could talk to another guy and we could look at a situation kind of the same because we're men, especially if we're of the same ilk, right? And I'm not saying therapists do that. I'm just saying that I felt better talking to a female because there were some things that I wasn't reading in the opposite sex that I had blind spots to. And so she was like, nah, when you do this, Jay, this is what has really happened. Yada, 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 yada. So I was like, okay, so that I was able to be, and because I didn't know her, if she thought I was a nut job, it didn't matter because I don't know if I'm a can of paint. Who's she going to tell? She might tell her therapist friends, but they don't know me. I don't care. Like, whatever. This is whatever. Like, because it was so random. And now she's like one of my coolest friends. Right? Like, I got her on speed dial sometimes. Like, I need a session. You know what I mean? Like, I'll take a session like I pop a Claritin. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I felt comfortable.
Have you ever been in a relationship, or when you were married, was it the same type of situation? Like, did you feel you could completely 100% be brutally honest, transparent, like whatever, like that with like with your therapist, you can say anything, even if it's something that's bad or something you don't want to say out loud? Have you ever felt that way?
I think that's my biggest fear is not being able to. I definitely fear not being able to say what I really think.
So you have not been in a relationship where you felt like you could say whatever it is that you really think at all times?
At all. Nope.
Okay. What about you, J. Mitch?
Not no serious relationship.
So in a non-serious relationship, so you felt like you could just say whatever because it wasn't a serious relationship type of thing? Is that what you're saying?
They didn't care as much and I didn't care as much. You know what I'm saying? So, you could get stuff off, and I'm not saying in a hurtful place or in a place of, demeaning or anything like that, but you just there's less to lose. I can express my feelings freely because there's just so much less to lose. And there's there's so little downside to it. The worst they're gonna do is leave, and who cares? Because they just cool. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's not my wife, or I'm not in love with them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you married to them, or when you love them, you know, there's repercussions sometimes to expression of emotions. Certainly, depending on the situation, like argument, debate. You know what I'm saying? Or
Well, I
talking
think there's.
about.
I'm
No,
sorry.
go ahead.
I was just saying, I think there's repercussions to both because we're not being completely transparent in our serious relationships or with our husbands or wives. We're holding back in some way, and that is impacting the relationship in a negative way, depending on what it is.
Well, yeah, and then depending on what it is. So, at least for me, and Jay probably will agree, if I'm not going to be 100, it's going to be on something that don't really even matter anyway. If anything, it would probably have helped me more getting it off. You know what I'm saying? Getting off my chest, or, you know, just expressing myself. But at the end of the day, it ain't changing nothing. So it's cool. You know what I mean? But for the most part, you know, as a man, as men, we pick and choose when to really get our stuff off.
Mm-hmm.
At least to me, the wise ones do.
Mm-hmm.
You just ain't reckless with, okay, she needs to hear this, or this is a good time now, or you know, you gotta be real strategic with when you say it, what you saying, and how
How
you
you
say
say
it.
it?
Absolutely. That
Yeah.
goes both ways.
Yeah, I agree.
Both ways.
It goes both
It
ways.
sounds like it should go both ways, but
It does.
I think we can all admit between men and women, women will be quicker to just throw it out there regardless of the repercussions before a man would.
Yeah, I think that's true, but I also think it's because there is a communication deficit that occurs between men and women. I think women start off, and I'm saying this, I have boys, I think women start off with soft tones and it's not heard. And so it escalates. Then it escalates. And then y'all perceive it as if we're not letting it go, or we keep complaining. Yeah, I'm complaining about the same damn thing because I'm talking, but there is no action behind what I'm talking about. So I'm going to keep talking. And I think that that's where some disconnect occurs. You can talk all day long, but if you don't understand what it is that I'm saying, and there's no action behind what it is that I'm saying, and this goes both ways, this goes for, you know, in both directions, then people begin to feel unheard. You begin to feel like they don't understand, and then eventually get to the point where you stop talking. And once the woman stops talking, problem has happened.
That's not a good place to be in.
Because when I stop complaining about what my issue is, now I'm just looking at you, counting down.
Mm-hmm. Facts. The silence. If y'all getting the silent treatment,
Yeah, I don't care.
it's over for that ass.
Yeah, now I don't care.
What's funny
Right,
is
'cause
initially
that's what it
we
is.
wanted was the silence, but then when we get it when it goes that way, that's the silence we don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because the soft tones are not heard.
No, it ain't. They don't respond to it. It's just like being a nice girl. They don't.
Nah,
I don't think they respond well to the nice girls either.
I think we hear you. It's just a matter of, in terms of execution, as a man, we're gonna have our way of doing it, which again, based on communication, may or may not align with your expectation of how it should have been executed, or when, you know, or to what extent, et cetera, et cetera. So if you tell a guy something, I'm generally speaking, of course, you tell a guy something and he's like, and he goes off. In his mind, generally he's processing, okay, this is when, this is how, this is why, this is where, you know, he's running it
If
all
you
through his
got
head.
that, if you got that information.
That too. But he's formulating something. And in his mind, I'm formulating it That's it. And this is something I learned in therapy. We usually don't give feedback to women as in, hey, right now, this is where I'm at with it. Or right now, this is how it's going. Or I'm expecting it to go this way. Is this the way you expected it to go also?
Oh, we need to revisit this.
Right. Those conversations I've learned tend not to be had. Generally, a man will take it, hear it, I got it, and do something. On his own time, on his own terms, just do something. Just independent of the woman. Once the woman says, I want this, or I feel this way, or I expect this. And there's no communication in between him coming back saying, ta-da, I did it.
Why is that?
Mm-hmm. I ain't got that far yet in my sessions.
You got that? Well, gentlemen, why is
that's
that?
a great question, though, right?
Yeah.
Because the expectation could be for men. We grow up, right? We do something right, whether it's in sports, in school, this, that, and third. You do something right, you get patted on the back. And that encouragement encourages the kid to keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, oh, you got straight A's? We're going to Disney World. Oh, you got 3 F's and 2 D's? You're not going to see the light of day for the rest of the semester. That's how we grew up coping and understanding, oh, these are when I'm doing the right thing, all right, I hear about it.
I think
We're
that's
adults now. We don't say it again.
I said, I think that's fair. I think that's all about the encouragement, 100%.
Right.
I think that's something that women probably don't do a good job of as well, because we will tend to focus on the things that we are frustrated about as opposed to the things that are going properly.
Right. And so when you guys, when the ladies say do this and he does it, it's almost like, nigga, I'm not gonna give you a pat on the back for some shit I told you to do. No, absolutely you should. Like, absolutely recognize that this man heard you, put a plan together, adjusted, and did it. Even if it's just once. All right. Because interesting enough, and this book, God, I wish everybody read this book. When the very first time this man does what you ask, when you don't recognize it, it's, well, what the fuck did I do this for? Subconsciously, he's like, all right, well, shit. That ain't really get me nowhere. I can screen up and not do it, but when I do it, nada. And on the low, it's like, yo, we want that. Ned, yeah, I appreciate you doing that. Like, I told you last week to take out the garbage. You got up early this week, did what you're supposed to. I appreciate you for that. Well, I appreciate it. All right, let me keep doing that. Because the one thing you do want is your lady to be happy. And so we see that, and it's like, all right, she's happy. Let me set a timer. My plan worked. Let me set a timer every week to make sure on Tuesday morning that garbage is taken out and it is up front to be picked up because she liked it and she let me know it. Let me keep getting this encouragement. That's a happy girlfriend. That's a happy life right there.
Flag on play, brother.
Flag on play, hit with it.
Yeah. And see, this is where I think part of the problem comes in, right? And this is why communication is important. And you have to understand this woman's background. You have to understand how she was raised. Unfortunately, was she raised with a father? Was she not raised? Like, where are her standards? Because if I got to pat you on the back to take the trash out, we got a problem.
If it's a problem that he's not doing it and you let him know and he starts doing it, why not?
Because we're talking about trash.
Right. And see, and that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, it doesn't matter what it is. You have a request, no matter big or small, you're requesting this person to do it. it should be, motherfucker, you should be doing it anyway.
No, it should never be motherfucker like that.
I know I'm not, I'm, it's hyperbole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Gary, I'm not giving you props for some shit you should already be doing. Nah, you should. You complain about it. Give it
To me,
for listening, because it's not about the actual act. It's about, hey, this man listened, he adjusted and did it no matter what it is, big or small.
No,
because if he's
that's
able
like
to,
giving a man props for watching his kids. Like
I didn't say about being a father. Asking somebody to be a father and asking to take out the garbage are two totally different.
Is it? I got a question for
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sean.
And both for men and women. I think there are some things that as a woman, you should not have to tell me that I'm supposed to do for my man. Okay. And I think there are some things as a man that I should not have to tell you. Now, that's again where communication comes in the beginning. But by the time we get to the point where we're sharing a trash can, those
I don't think I should have used that example, because I think we're getting caught up on trash.
Hold on.
Let's get away from trash.
Hold on. Pause.
Go ahead.
Because I don't want to lose my train of thought. I want to go back to Sean. Is the issue with showing the appreciation because he did something that you shouldn't have to tell him to do?
Yeah, but I think again, a lot of those things come in the beginning of the relationship when you're communicating.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
A lot of those things come in the beginning of the relationship and what the standards and stuff are. And there's things that you go in and people know, whether you like it or not, there are going to be roles and responsibilities that are divvied out that are there. And yes, there should be encouragement in the sense of, I love you, thank you, things of that nature. But then there's some things that I do that I'm just going to do and I'm expected to do. And that goes on the other side as well.
I hear you.
I love it. Hey, right now in the chat, this topic right now has definitely separated the men and the women.
Has it? I haven't even been able to keep up with it.
And it's interesting because this is one of those topics where literally I think we all see it. We're on opposite sides of this thing. And it's interesting because, like Lotus Chick says, I'm not training pound puppies. You're not training a pound puppy, but you are training somebody.
Oh, no.
Because and I'm going to give you a perfect example. And don't take offense to this. Just follow me here. I get with Carolyn. Carolyn likes sex a certain way. We break up. I get with Sean. Should I have sex the same way with Carolyn that I do with Sean? Absolutely not. You're two different people. You have different needs. You feel things differently. You're two totally different people. To think that a grown man that you meet should come into your life and automatically know certain things is diabolical.
That's not what I said.
Hold on. But it's also being said, and I'm not just you, but this is something that's being said, I think. Okay. There's going to be training that's going to be done between two people who are coming together who have never met before in their life.
It's like learning each other.
Yes. There are going to be things that he's going to get wrong. There are going to be things that she's going to get wrong.
Absolutely.
And so how do we remedy that? There's communication, but there's training. And then there's patience, right? But then there's also part of that, like, yo, I appreciate you. When there's an issue and that person adjusts, so I appreciate you listening and adjusting to what I asked, because that was important to me, no matter how big or small it is. Because now I'm like, all right, she's the type of person to make sure that when I do listen and do what she asks, she's going to recognize that and see that I am trying. And so in everything else that I do for this woman, I'm going to make sure I give it 110% because she recognizes when I'm trying. I may not get it right, but she recognizes when I'm trying.
But I think that's different. I think recognizing when somebody's trying, absolutely. I think
That's what I'm talking about, though.
no. But again, at this stage,
What do you mean, though?
Well, I'm finished.
Okay.
At this stage in my life, there are some things that whoever I am dating, I have an expectation that there are some things that they already know. Like right now, I don't think I could date somebody who had never been married before. Because there are different things that you, or live with somebody for a long time, because there are different things that you learn and you adjust to and you understand when you have had to deal with the emotions of a man and women in cohabitate space. If somebody at this stage in my life has never been married or lived with someone for any, I don't want to go through them growing pains that you go through in the beginning when you first, I'm not trying to do that. So I think it depends on where you are in your life. That I could praise somebody at 25 for taking out the trash. And I know you would not say, but that I know. But at this stage in my life, there is a set of skills that should already be there. Just like there are a set of skills that should be there for me. I shouldn't be burning up the kitchen.
Hey, what if you just don't cook that much, ma'am?
Well,
So do I leave her?
That shouldn't be her role then. Her role should be
Do I? Right. See, we adjust. We have grace over here. See, that's great. Because if you're over 40, your ass can't cook, that's a problem. But we have grace over here, baby. Just saying. Our side has grace. I'm just saying.
Lord, we have grace. We have a lot of grace. I don't know what you're talking about. Grace is our middle name. The hell?
I just said, and I don't agree, and I don't disagree. I think I don't disagree. I think there are some things that each as we get older, there are certain things I think just as an adult that we should come with, right? But I don't want that to be confused with mind reading. I don't want to be confused with the fact that no, there's going to be some training. I don't want to step away from the fact that everybody needs encouragement.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? So I really don't want us to step away from that, because there is this thing where, yo, you should know. Or if you don't know, nigga, I'm gonna tell you. And then when I do it, all right, yeah, whatever. Nah, because it feels like, imagine doing something for somebody and they don't say, I'm gonna make it real small. And I'm petty like this. I open the door for you. I'm a gentleman. I open the door for you and you don't say thank you. In my mind, we got a fucking problem.
That's rude.
If you don't open the door for me, we got a fucking problem, because that's the last time.
But I did though. Hold on, you didn't hear the example.
No,
I'm a gentleman. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm opening the door for you.
Correct.
But if you don't say thank you, let's imagine how that makes that person feel. How does that person feel?
I don't care.
You what?
If I got to tell you to open the door for me,
that's not the example, Sean. That wasn't the example. That wasn't the example. I'm opening the door because I'm a gentleman.
Correct.
You're not telling me to. I'm doing it.
Correct.
Now, if you don't say thank you, how does that make me feel?
I don't care, because that's what you're supposed to do. Just like I'm going to make sure I walk on the inside and put you on you're on the outside, because as a woman, I'm supposed to show you that I'm letting you protect me, that I'm letting you lead me. Don't expect you to say thank you because I let you sit with your back to the door while I am being submissive. That's what you're supposed to do.
She got a teacher pencil out.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's what
I was taught when somebody does something nice for you that they don't have to do. Because regardless, you don't have to do a damn thing. Regardless, for real. You say thank you. You give a thank. Like, I don't see anything wrong with saying thank you. That's just me. I'm just saying.
Every time you open the door, somebody is supposed to say thank you.
Say what?
Oh no.
If I open the door for you,
I
whether
mean,
you're my girl or a stranger, you say thank you.
Oh, a
yeah.
stranger, absolutely. If you're a
No,
stranger,
I said whether you're my girl or a stranger, you say thank
oh
you.
yeah. A stranger, yeah. If
But
a
here's
stranger,
the
I'm gonna say
thing.
thank you.
I'm saying both. It don't matter. As a human being, I
Mm-mm.
think you should say like
Mm-mm. No.
I
I'm
here's
not
the
That's like
thing.
on
saying that's
anybody
like
to
saying
say
because you come home and I've cooked dinner for you. Every time I cook dinner, I'm supposed to say you're
say
supposed to say
thank you. Here's something wild.
This
Here's
should be
something
an
wild. When I
episode.
was
This
married,
has to be an episode.
but I have
huh?
no problem saying good morning. So
No, I'm saying this should be an episode. We got to clip this. This got to be an episode.
yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Because the
So
chat going crazy. This got to be an episode because obviously there's a difference
there's a total
in
difference right
mindset
now.
of expectations of acknowledgement between men and women.
There is.
What we think should be acknowledged to us and what we think we should acknowledge them for and vice versa.
It's a disconnect.
Yeah, because the more I'm hearing this conversation, the more I'm thinking of other conversations I've had in other situations where I've seen, this exact same thing happen. We got to get into this.
But
Yeah,
can I just say
this
something real
real.
quick?
This is a good one.
Can I just
Cause
say this
I
real quick? Hold on, because
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carolyn. My
I
bad, baby. My bad, C Dub. My bad, C Dub. I've been
here's
cutting you
what-
off. I apologize.
No, just this one time because I don't want to forget what I had to say. Because
Okay.
I'm saying, no, I forgot. Dang it!
That's
I
my
had
fault.
something good too.
That's my fault. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh, what was I going to say? What were we talking about? Man, I totally lost it too. I'm so mad
Well,
about that right now.
well, the interesting part. So it's something interesting, right?
What are you talking about?
My ex-wife was somebody who I can honestly say she had a ton of gratitude and a ton of graciousness. And she taught me that. Go ahead, say what you was gonna say. You remember? Go ahead.
Okay. No, that's what I was gonna say. I think we maybe are looking at this wrong. Like, as far as looking at it, like this is, these are things that women should already know how to do or should be doing, and these are things that men should be just do automatically. I think it's just acknowledging that someone did something nice for you. Period. Like, not he opened the door because he was supposed to, or I'm gonna just because you opened the door to be nice. If I say, "Can you give me a drink of water?" and someone brings me a drink of water, I'm gonna say thank you because they did something nice. Or maybe somebody just brought me a drink without me asking them because they were thinking I might be thirsty, and then I say thank you because they just did something kind. So we should all be doing that more often. Yeah, maybe the woman is, supposed to cook, but you know what? It would probably go a long way if men would say thank you after every time their woman cooked for them, instead of just assuming that that's just
That
what
you're
she does because
supposed to
she's the
cook.
woman or the
Right.
dishes or whatever it may be. And same thing with the man. Like, yeah, opening the door is something that he should be doing, and a real man will be doing that. But it probably goes a long way. We already see they're like little puppies. Like, you feed them a little thing, they're gonna, get all excited and do it again. So just saying a simple thank you, for whatever it is that they do that's nice and kind too. I appreciate you walking on the edge of the sidewalk in case we get hit and die. Like, I appreciate you for that.
My body's definitely gonna stop that car from hitting me.
And let me double down on the acknowledgement and things like that. When you acknowledge the small stuff that a man's doing, it's gonna tune him into doing bigger things, more things. It's gonna tune him in and make him want to do stuff that you don't have to ask for.
I agree.
It's gonna make him tune in and be like, yo, man, she thanked me for opening the door. Just what if I cooked her a 5-course dinner when she comes home? Like, I can't tell you how much of thank you and acknowledgement of doing something, especially if you ask for it, can go. Like, we're at a place right now where there's no grace, there's no acknowledgement, there's nothing, there's no gratitude. And we're just like, we treat each other like shit. The one thing I can say when I go down south and then I come back home, I was like, yo, we assholes up here.
Mhm.
We are assholes. You go down south, them folks may not like you, but you'll never know. Thank you, baby. Thank you for coming by. Come back again, baby. Do this, but babe, I got you. Like, I always feel so at home and so welcome down south.
Mm-hmm.
Up here, we might as well just spit it on each other and keep it pushing. I don't. We're mean to each other, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I just don't understand how we got here, and I think this is an episode. That's all.
I think appreciation is important. I just want to be clear. I am not saying that you are not supposed to show appreciation to your significant other. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm saying that when you go into a relationship, there are things that just are. And I think showing appreciation for it comes in many different ways. I just don't think, and maybe it's because that's how I raise my kids. Like, you open the door, period. That's it. That's how they've been raised since they were little. And whether she says thank you or not doesn't negate the fact that you have been raised to be this gentleman. And that's just my thought process about it.
Right, but I just opened the door for this wolf that obviously has no damn manners.
And that's okay.
And so now we're right back to where I'm not going to talk. My wife could have just walked past me. But because she has no manners, no basic manners, we're missing out on our blessings. The point is to be able to bring each other together. Yes, I'm going to do what I need to do, but there's another side to that. I'm always going to do what I have to do because that's who I'm built. But as a human being and of the opposite sex, I am pretty sure you were taught to say thank you. You were taught to be polite. You were taught to have manners.
The door, then, if it's something that's not normal, but there's a set of expectations that just derive in relationships. They're just there. And you have to show appreciation to the person, but I don't necessarily think that's saying thank you every time they open my door.
Do you think that has some type of adverse effect if you're saying thank you for small things? Just curious.
Absolutely. What do you mean adverse effect? Like negative effect? I want to make sure I understand.
Yeah, but I'm talking to Sean, but yes.
So go ahead.
So I think if my partner came to me and said, this is important to me, then obviously I'm going to do what's important to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But there are some things that I wouldn't even process that I'm supposed to do. And that goes both ways. So if it has adverse effects, I would change it if they spoke about it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Because that's what compromise in a relationship is.
So men, do y'all say, hey, honey, I really appreciate whenever, you show appreciation for the little things that I do for you? Do y'all communicate that if it's not being done?
I don't
say that again.
Oh, go ahead. You can repeat it for Jay.
Okay, so what I said was, do you guys communicate that showing tokens of appreciation when you guys are doing things right or trying to do the right thing? Do you communicate that that's something that you want, or that's something that's good for you to your partner? Yeah. Do you think most men do it?
I think some men don't even realize that being affirmed is even empowering to them. I think some just completely, for a couple of reasons. One being, it may not happen often enough for them to realize the positive effect it has. And
that's sad.
Another one might be because they just don't know that they should ask for it or expect it.
Mm-hmm.
It took me more of my life than I would care to admit before I even realized, being affirmed by your partner, your spouse, your loved one, it's just as powerful as being affirmed by your children. And it's tough for people that don't have kids to get that correlation, but it's when your kids say, "Daddy, you're the best." It's, you know what I mean?
You feel that.
Yeah, exactly. For doing something,
Mm-hmm.
it hits you in a place like, it's just hard. It's hard to compare, And I think for a man, it's the same thing with a partner or a spouse. When they affirm your actions towards them, it's basically like proof that I'm on the right track with them. I'm saying? I'm getting it right with them, because ultimately that's all we want to do is just get it right with them. So when you get
Get it right.
when you get the affirmation, the more you get it, the more you want to run with it. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's important. But I think giving affirmations to so when you teach children, say thank you, say thank you, say thank you. So probably part of my little psychological thing is that I don't think it's real. I think it's reactive. And if it's reactive, it doesn't mean anything to me. So if somebody is saying, it's like somebody sneezes and you say bless you. Well, it could be a stranger. You don't even know. We just all programmed that when we hear somebody sneeze that we say bless you. But I really don't care about that person. So for me, when I hear that thank you, to me, it's not real. It's just reactionary. But giving affirmations to your partner is 100% needed in order to sustain a healthy relationship. Those two things are just different in my mind.
I think if a person does here's what that's interesting you think that. I think your character is who you are when you don't think anybody's looking. The fact that I can bless somebody that I don't know means I actually give a shit that I want bless
That's
you.
what I'm saying. I'm saying it's reactionary.
You're saying it's not real. It's reactionary.
It is.
I disagree that it's reactionary.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I disagree that it's reactionary.
I think the both can be true at the same time.
Yes, that's what I say. Can both be true at the same time?
Yeah.
You
For
can
some
really,
people it's reactionary. For others,
we react, but you can also really be genuine about really doing that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I truly believe who you are out in the world when nobody's looking is that's you.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And so like the stuff you do to strangers, that's the shit I look at. That's why I like to people watch.
mm-hmm.
Because I know when I'm watching you and you don't think anybody's looking, oh, this is who this person really is. Because to me, when you don't do it, when you don't think anybody's looking, but you do it with me, that's when it becomes fake for me. Because it's not really you. It's not what you do. You're doing it because you're trying to appeal to me or my senses.
I think that goes both ways, because there are some things that I'm only trying to appeal to a certain person. I'm not gonna treat my partner the same way I treat other people. There are gonna be some things that are just left for that person.
Message.
Right. Who texting us? I can't. And it's 1:33. So we're actually past
the time.
Oh, whoops. But we definitely didn't make this. We definitely didn't make this part a topic.
Yeah.
Because we are definitely we moved from, and it's interesting how it comes back to fear, because I think fear. I feel like there's a fear factor in there from just actually, I don't know, doing or teaching. I don't know, but I hope we didn't close the gap. We're gonna have to talk about this more.
Yeah, we can just do a part two. We'll do a part two next week. Sean, can you come back next week?
Yep.
All right, cool. Part two next week. Well, before we go, because we are over time, we're gonna give our lovely guest Sean time for last minute words, and then Jay Mitch, then me, and then Jay, of course, will close us out. So Sean, the floor is yours.
Okay. So last minute words are, I think we all have to do our work. I think it is up to us to heal ourselves, to be the best possible people that we can be for our significant other. That's going to be the way that you can have a healthy, lasting relationship. And it's just going to take the time. You can't rush that. You have to do the work. You're not going to get past it. If you don't do the work, you're going to bleed on everybody around you.
Yeah. We gotta stop bleeding on each other, y'all.
Yes.
A lot of blood being spilled.
Blood.
Okay. J. Mitch, what you got?
Living with a healthy amount of fear is actually
Good.
natural for all people. You have to recognize when it goes from being a healthy amount of fear, concern, into something that's debilitating and halting your progress and halting your growth, especially within a relationship. Relationships are 100% risk. There's no sure thing, there's no guarantee.
Right.
So to be able to live with that risk, you have to have a certain level of fearlessness. You have to be fearless to an extent to where whatever concerns you have, you put to the back and you go full in with some type of faith that everything will be all right because you're going to do whatever it takes to make it all right.
That's good stuff.
And that's
right there.
and to me, that's the difference between a committed relationship, a marriage, and the lighter dating and all that other stuff. So just be fearless in your relationships, and you will, in my opinion, probably be better served for it.
That's a mic drop right there. I don't even have to. I can't even follow that with nothing. So I'm just
Caroline, say something, baby. Caroline.
No, I mean, I think they pretty much said it. I feel like I really learned a lot, so I'm super excited about tonight's show. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Jay Mitch. Of course, thanks to my lovely co-host, Jay. And thanks to everyone who tuned in tonight. We're here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Shout out to the Leos. Okay, Leo's in the building. Leo season. Okay, we got Sean on the 5th. I'm on the 3rd. I'm Saturday. And all my friends, especially if you on my social media, you know it's my birthday. And none of y'all finna
We sure do.
Right.
And
That
none
part.
of y'all finna forget it's my birthday on Saturday. I know that for a fact. Okay. I be doing the most. Okay. I do. Anyway, shout out to the Leos. And yeah, thank you guys again. We love you guys so much. We appreciate your support. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, and we're on Instagram, all of the things. So definitely shout us out, send us questions, keep sending me show ideas. I love those videos and I appreciate you guys, love you guys. And I'm gonna hand it over to Jay.
Yo, big shout out to Jay, big shout out to Sean, appreciate you being on. Great show. Shout out to my co-host, always holding it down, bringing the great topics. Tip for Tat Nation, again, we are not experts. We are opinions. We are different voices. We are coming together to try to bridge the gap between our species, because we are far apart right now. We can all learn something. The point of this is to have dialogue and again, bring us closer together. I feel like we got a little closer today, or we at least identified a huge gap, which we will follow up on. And if you didn't catch it, there is a huge gap between when it comes to acknowledgement and affirmation, and I think that's something that we can explore. Again, Tip for Tat Nation, love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. This is the place where we bring the spice, where we always keep it nice. Tip for Tat, baby. Love y'all. Holla.